Hello and welcome to Alexandra House. I'm Leonard. Today we're at Alexandra House and I'm part of the Touchstone Wealth Academy.
My name is Chapman and I am part of Chapman Designs.
So we're very fortunate with this house that a lot of the original flooring is still in place. Post-COVID, the construction industry's got a bit tricky. So myself and my business partner Scott, we made a decision to scale down the business just to sort of protect our position. In doing that, it released quite a lot of capital back into the business. We were keen to plug that into property. You know, in doing the research that we wanted to do to try and get things right, we ran into Touchstone. Read a couple of Paul and Abi's books, ended up doing the 2-day course and onto the Wealth Academy. And from there, learnt, not just the practicalities of doing a property, but it was more about, the finance, the commercial side and maximising the revenue. Rather than just doing the standard sort of AST. And then we started to look at properties and we found this place. We really like York. This place was a great location both for the city and for the racecourse. And then involving Hannah as well, we created what we have at Alexandra House. Yeah, so in the living room we wanted to create a real sort of home from home experience.
It's a bit like going to a family member's home and it literally just wraps around you. So we've got the incredibly beautiful and comfy sofas. Stunning bay windows which we just broke up into 3 sets of curtains. And another great detail that we wanted to incorporate were the antique encyclopedias that I was able to obtain from Facebook Market Group of all places.
And with the fireplace we retained the existing fire surround. We purchased the property back in April 2024. We found it online. I think it was in a Facebook group originally. And we were looking in the north, specifically in York. There's sort of great footfall. It's not a seasonal town. There's very few low spots of the season. Just the return on investment was quite good. The cost of the properties versus the return that you get worked quite well, as opposed to properties down south, the cost of the property versus the yield is not quite as good. Found the property and it instantly liked it really. It was a former guest house for many years, so all the rooms were en suite and it just worked for us to take on as a renovation project.
So this was like a little highlight I wanted to keep. So it was in before when it was a bed and breakfast, but just to make it as like a bit of a feature and a bit of a hook on social media, we put up this plaque saying "Ring for a bevy," which has proven very popular when it comes to the races. Yeah, so Abi got us in contact back in February 2024, and Andrew showed me Alexandra House, and it was a building I fell in love with straight away. I could definitely see the potential, especially with the age of the property. Initially it was a bed and breakfast. It was awful. It was red carpets, swags and tails, gold everywhere. It was awful. And then we changed it into what it is today, and it's absolutely stunning. And I feel like it does appeal to a certain demographic, especially in York, as well as positioning ourselves in a very niche place where it would be more of a bridal house, which again, I saw there was a gap in the market, especially in York, for a family group to have the night before the wedding, because the property sleeps up to 13 guests.
So as we're in the middle of a terrace with neighbours in either side, we've got to be really considerate of noise. We needed a way of contacting people if the noise levels get a bit high. So Hannah came up with a great idea of finding this vintage phone with a one-way line into the building. So if we get any reports, we call the number and get the guests to quieten down.
I love it, it's just so cool. Sorry.
Yeah, so this is the games room, and in here we wanted to create like a really good social space. So we've got games, we've got pool table, table tennis, darts, some lounge space as well. Just sort of the idea of people hanging out here when they're having a celebration, having some drinks and so on.
Yeah. So the artwork, so I wanted to give it a bit of like a gentleman's club kind of vibe, but obviously not make it too masculine. So we balanced it out with this beautiful Vogue-inspired portrait.
Yeah, so there's a lump of money that was invested into the property, but we feel we've created something really unique, certainly to York, both in terms of the, occupancy wise. I think it's quite unique in sleeping 13 people, certainly comfortably, in separate bedrooms with enough bathrooms and so on, but equally unique in its design and what it offers. The equipment and the facilities that are in here, the level of comfort and design is quite unique to, it's certainly unique in what else we can see on the market in York. So this is the kitchen. So originally, I think I mentioned before, this was a guest house, and this area, this end was like an old people's sort of lounge, breakfast waiting room area.
Yeah.
Which is pretty depressing, really, wasn't it?
Really depressing.
And the kitchen was just a small kitchen at the other end.
Yeah, it was a great design to do this room, combining 2 rooms into one big room. Again, not taking away from the aesthetics of the original building, but having like modern comforts and how people tend to socialise nowadays. It's all in one room rather than having one kitchen and then a dining room. We wanted to have it in a combined space. From a design perspective, the biggest issue was to obtain items that were secondhand and that would fit the space, because I didn't want flat pack furniture in the property. I wanted to have beautiful, ornate wardrobes that would again celebrate the age of the property. So we were very lucky and we were able to obtain 3 beautiful vintage wardrobes, which are in the bedrooms, which I'm sure you'll see. Absolutely stunning.
So all the rooms are either double or king?
Yes. We did actually have all the bathrooms throughout the house, all en suites, in the same design with the beautiful marble tiles and then a brass accessories, apart from the master bedroom, which is antique brass. With this bedroom, the Sebastian suite, again, keeping the colour scheme very neutral, very similar in all the other rooms, but incorporating sort of key pieces like this antique wardrobe, which is beautiful. We were able to obtain it from Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, it was Facebook
down
again.
South, wasn't
it was,
it?
yeah, I picked it up from, I think, Croydon somewhere.
Yeah.
I ended up in a van going to pick wardrobes up. So, yeah. Okay, so this is one of the king-size rooms, again, en suite. I think those beds were actually existing, weren't they? It was one of the few, we retained 2 beds from the original property or the original owner.
The wardrobe was one of the best finds, again, sourced second-hand. Sort of doing a bit of a mixture between traditional with modern comforts and combining like the darker furniture, because we already had the existing bed frame, so we just wanted to pick out the details of the black and gold and then combine it with the rest of the items in the room.
It was a few things really. One, it was the the profit that you can make out of it versus standard rental. The yields are a lot higher, and with a property like this, we wanted to create something really special, and to do service accommodation allowed us to do that rather than just working like with a standard HMO. So there was that, and also the ability to be able to use the property when we want to, if we're travelling around on business or family get-togethers, that kind of thing. So this is the master bedroom. We actually did quite a lot to this room. So through that doorway there was the existing dressing room for the master bedroom, which we decided to turn into a study. We're keen to include a dedicated workspace.
Yes, as that does rank quite highly on booking websites, so we decided to change that room. And this being probably one of my favourite rooms of the house, especially with transformation. Wanting to make it a little bit more immersive and a bit more of a Victorian vibe, we've gone for a full round mural. And then we were able to source a captain's desk from, again, Facebook Marketplace. Making sure that we could fit an additional guest, We actually came up with the idea of having a drop-down Murphy bed behind some curtains, so when it wasn't in use, it was tucked away nice and neatly.
So we bought the property for $750. Cost of the refurb was $150. It was a total of $900 to get to the point we are now, and we managed to refinance at $1 million. So 100 grand in 4 months is quite a nice number to return. So we're up to the top floor. This is one of the bigger bedrooms. We actually did quite a lot to this room.
Originally on this side of the room we had the wardrobes, but I saw it was a very quite a big waste of space, so that we could actually fit a sofa bed, again to sleep an additional 2 guests. And then just to utilise this dead space, I just created a lower sort of storage system of hangers and drawers.
And that second is like a dressing table as well.
Because you've got to think about these things, about getting ready for the races.
And then also with this ensuite, we were trying to find a way of getting a decent sized shower in there. So we moved the door across and pop the shower in the corner to make quite a nice sized bathroom.
Anything you've learned from this? Any lessons you've learned to take forward?
I would probably say just surround yourself with the right people, definitely.
Yeah, certainly having the right people in the team in place.
Yeah, definitely.
And certainly getting organised with the project at the front end, and working to tight programs and so on, rather than starting too quickly and muddling your way through.